All right, y'all. It's time for a little black history. In this video, we're going to remember James Byrd Jr. In 1998, he was walking home in Jasper, Texas. 3 white supremacists picked him up, offered him a ride. He been knowing them all his life, well, most of his life, so he ain't thinking nothing of it. But it was a fateful mistake. They tied him to the back of their truck with a chain, drove him down a rocky road for 3 miles until his body was torn to pieces, decapitated him, head over here, arms over there, until they shredded his body. For 3 miles they drug this black man, all for hate. So this is just a little bit black history for y'all, man, because most of us don't know these stories. So I thought I will put this out there so we can see how far have we really made it. Is there a new way of doing this same thing? We know it's a new way of slavery. We know it's a mind control thing over these young black boys out here. We know the games. So now that we know the truth, what are we gonna do about it? Rest in peace, James Byrd Jr. and the rest of his family that's been fighting. Obama, you did something good. And let's watch this little video, y'all. True.
It is extremely hard to go back to Jasper. Just seeing the city limits of Jasper, Texas, the trees caving in, and seeing a long, rugged road would just bring back the memories.
One of the worst hate crimes this nation has ever seen. Byrd was kidnapped and then tied behind a pickup truck and dragged for nearly 3 miles in the East Texas city of Jasper, all because he was black.
The legacy of a gruesome hate crime still haunts this small Texas town.
Their lives changed forever on June 7th, the day of Byrd's murder.
There are not words to describe just how bad this was.
This was 23 years ago, but it still seemed like yesterday.
This generation, they don't know about James Byrd Jr., the black man that was dragged behind a pickup truck. I would describe my dad as witty, the life of the party, and very free-spirited. The day before my dad was brutally murdered, he wasn't himself. I don't know if he felt something.
It's something you don't want to never get a phone call for, I tell you like that.
On a Saturday night in June 1998, James Byrd Jr. caught a ride with 3 white men in Jasper, Texas. They drove him down a dark country road, beat him, then chained him alive to a pickup truck and dragged his body for 3 miles until he was decapitated.
A black boy found the body on his way to church, and he called the sheriff's department because it was outside of the city limits.
The sheriff immediately called the FBI in for backup.
He took the ministers out there and showed us, and we saw where the teeth were and where the baseball cap was and where the arm and the head were, and it was horrible.
Are you a white supremacist?
The day after the murder, police arrested John William King, Russell Brewer, and Sean Allen Berry.
We believe that Bill King wanted to start a KKK group in this community and needed to do something phenomenal, earth-shattering, because Bill was a brilliant kid, but he was evil.
Until we actually see that justice is done, then I believe only then will we begin to heal here in Jasper.
John William King became the first white man in Texas history to be sentenced to death for killing a black man.
I actually witnessed his execution. He literally just went to sleep, and you think of James Byrd Jr.'s death. He committed the crime, yet he just went to sleep, and James Byrd Jr. just struggled to the very end.
Russell Brewer was sentenced and executed as well. and Sean Allen Berry is still serving life in prison.
Good morning, Sean.
James Byrd did what he wanted to do. And you know, he was that type of person. I take after him a lot. Smart, intelligent, charismatic. At the end of the day, you can't turn into the hater.
In 2009, President Barack Obama signed a hate crimes law named after James Byrd Jr.
We will strengthen the protections against crimes based on the color of your skin, the faith in your heart, or the place of your birth.
My dad did not get killed at the hands of a police officer. But in today's world, that is what we're seeing. We're seeing a lot of brutality by the hands of officers. I know what you're going through.
How many George Floyds do we gotta be? You know, how many James Byrds do we gotta be?